Arise, champion! Go with your general's favor. I gift you the courage of the North, champion. My strength is yours in this fight, champion. Witness the fury of the North. There will be nothing left of you. My legion, advance and put down this upstart for your Archon. Shields up, my soldiers. Bring me the Fatebinder's head. Rise, my legion. Your general calls. My strength wanes. This will teach you to fall in line. Stand down, soldier. I am wounded. The pain consumes me. Flames! Put me out, my legion! Put me out! Well struck. You are the victor, and I go to my eternal rest in the void. Wish I could feel anything but relief. My homeland dragged into conflict, consumed by war. Do what you must. The great powers of this conquest are gone, and you are all that's left. Go, seek answers in your mountain spire, and try to remember why we came here. A word, please. Humor an old man and his regrets. A warning to you, Archon. Kairos marches on the tiers. A new army, a stronger army, advances on these untamed lands, seeking to return with your head on a pike. There is nothing you can do to stop it.
Ashe, you can't leave us. The disfavored need you still. Without you...
Peace, son of Baragonin. The North will remember me. All things come to an end, as your friend here is about to learn. Defiant to the last. You are on a path to incredible power. A path that I walked long ago. There was strength, victory, triumph. Everything an Archon of war should expect from a life so accomplished. But there was also pain. Had I another century to describe it, I could not explain the punishing agony of my devotion. Your rise to power is no matter of personal glory. It touches all who trail in your wake. When you ascend, you won't be alone. Far from it. There will be others who look to you. You will be responsible for them in more ways than you can know. Take care with those who follow you. Depend on each other. But harden yourself to accept the burden of their love. Devotion can bite deeper than any spear. I hope that you are prepared for what comes next. Because Kairos will not make it easy. My soldiers grew to depend on me, and I gifted them my protection. But I also took their harm upon myself. I had the strength to endure, for a time. Every gutting, every crushed bone, every death. I took it all upon myself, to spare my troops. You must be prepared to do the same. Would you hear my final testimony, Fatebinder? Before you bring ruin to my homeland, and unravel the war we built together, would you hear me one last time, defiant to the last? You are on a path to incredible power. A path that I walked long ago. There was strength, victory, triumph. Everything an Archon of war should expect from a life so accomplished. But there was also pain. Had I another century to describe it, I could not explain the punishing agony of my devotion. My soldiers grew to depend on me, and I gifted them my protection. But I also took their harm upon myself. I had the strength to endure, for a time. Every gutting, every crushed bone, every death. I took it all upon myself to spare my troops. You must be prepared to do the same. Your rise to power is no matter of personal glory. It touches all who trail in your wake. When you ascend, you won't be alone. Far from it. There will be others who look to you. You will be responsible for them in more ways than you can know. Take care with those who follow you. Depend on each other, but harden yourself to accept the burden of their love. Devotion can bite deeper than any spear. I hope that you are prepared for what comes next. Because Kairos will not make it easy.
Ashe, you can't leave us. The disfavored need you still. Without you...
Peace, son of Barraconan. The North will remember me. All things come to an end, as your friend here is about to learn.
The last thing that went through the voices of Narot's mind, other than me, was the belief that he had won. He thought he'd learn how to control you by understanding me. The whole inside of this mind still tastes like hubris.
How can we trust your rabble not to turn at this last moment? How many of your conscripts have family bonds to the Vendrian Guard? It is decided. The disfavored will take the vanguard of the assault. It is the only way to assure success before the edict comes to pass. I trust them more than I trust your circus of rapists, sellswords, and turncoat tearsmen. Tunon's Fatebinder has arrived. By Kairos' word, this means war! How did it come to this? What other choice am I given? It is clear the voices of Narot would endanger all of us out of vanity. Besides, we all know when this war is over, someone must rule and protect the Tears. So I will start protecting the Tears from the depravity of the Scarlet Chorus. Yes, and instead of having false allies on our side, at least we can march on the Citadel knowing full well who is friend and foe. And it goes without saying, the disfavored needs you now for this glorious battle. Please speak with the Iron Marshal. She will give you the specifics of our plan. You'd stand with the madman and his rabble? I am shocked. I counted you amongst our allies, and your name was held in some regard amongst my troops. I should have suspected as such. What did Narot offer you? For your sake, let's hope he promised you enough power to protect yourself from me. You honor us, as I knew you would. You have made the right choice. The disfavored have stood at the forefront of battle since the first days of the war, and now we have the honor of winning this final battle. You test my patience, Fatebinder. We did not ask for a weak compromise that leaves all parties unsatisfied. Whom do you support? Are you going to let the Scarlet Chorus traitors have their way? Or will you stand by Kairos' true disciples, the disfavored? You would dare harm me and our guests from the court? If the Chorus leads the charge, they will fail. I will not sit idly by while the edict claims my legion. The disfavored will carve a path to the Citadel on our own, if that's what it takes. Just old soldier reflexes. Couldn't be sure if it was trying a simple illusion or a bolt of fire. Either way, needed to be sure my guests didn't perish in my war tent. Wouldn't be able to live that one down. Be wary of the Scarlet Chorus. Who knows what plans they have concocted with the Oathbreakers? Why is it my so-called allies are more willing to belittle than to assist? The Vendrian Guard have been the least of my headaches in this damned valley. And look what showing them mercy has done for us. My scouts report seeing Chorus thugs fleeing your camp, defecting back to the enemy. They are abusing your mercy, and you either don't notice or don't care. The former is negligence, the latter is treachery. Really? Fatebinder, explain this at once. Were the Oathbreakers at Tripnettle destroyed? And how is it that Chorus knows so little about its own operation? I'm sorry if you feel the Legion did not pull its weight. Perhaps my troops should conduct themselves as undisciplined, uncooperative children as is the case in the Chorus. Would that be more to your liking? Iron Marshal, I understand we've established a foothold across the Mittani. Report. And Bledden Mark never taught you how to track a wounded criminal? You are right. Securing a foothold across the river was the goal. Still, your lack of follow-through is distressing. This will be just like Stalwart, when your own conscripts chose suicide over service to the Chorus. She'll be no different than the others. Petulant, uncooperative, and motivated to feed you false information. The Fatebinder is right. We argue over trivialities when we should be closing the vice on the Oathbreakers. Let us march on the double. The disfavored will lead the charge. As a whole, there is nothing intelligent about the Tearsmen, but at least the dead ones were smart enough to see that life under the Archon of Secrets is little more than a cruel joke, a running festival for bullies and sociopaths. Why I am on equal footing with Kairos' clown I will never understand. So, Fatebinder, you would deem this mission successful, calling me a coward in not so many words? You and Nerat are cut from the same cloth. Now that we are all assembled, I want reports. The Scarlet Chorus was going to resolve the Oathbreaker presence in the Outer Valley. What became of that? Fatebinder is right. Our survival is at stake. All that matters is taking Ascension Hall. Iron Marshal, ready our troops. Fifth Eye, tell your gangs to cover our flanks. Then the impasse is clear. We both wish for the honor of leading this final assault on the Vendrian Guard. Since Tunon is not here to select the rightful bearer of this honor, we must turn to the Archon's proxy. So be it. I will add another name to our record of hate. Out of respect for the Blue Flag truce, I won't have you slain where you stand. If you leave my camp and don't look back, it's immaterial is what it is. The edict is all that matters now, and we will march on Ascension Hall and avenge our fallen brethren. The Archon of Secrets left behind one of his spies. Perhaps we should send her back to her master in pieces. You would harbor the Archon's henchmen in your company? This is aiding and abetting the voices of Nerat. I cannot stand for it. You are playing a dangerous game, Binder. If you wish to hold a venomous serpent so close, I will allow you your own self-destruction. Erenyos, have someone deal with this mess. Binder, as you were. Now leave me. When you are ready to join the assault, speak to the Iron Marshal. You would twist her loyalties from the Chorus to yourself? A fool's hope, if ever I heard one. Safer to leave her hanging by a gibbet or rotting in the pillory for the Legion's amusement. But I can tell that you won't be swayed. The voices of Nerat knows better, of that much I can assure you. Whatever deceitful ploy you have in mind, he can think lifetimes ahead of it. Whatever pitiful regard the howling mob once gave you, you had best disregard it. You are Tunon's vassal, not theirs, and your support of my cause will not endear you to any former allies in the Chorus. That's 4 reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley. Finally, the fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Nerat is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end. The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. I always know you've run out of things to say when you resort to mocking my vassals. If we are to speak of treachery, why is it that my scouts see the Scarlet Chorus warriors defecting back to the Vendrian Guard? Your fearsome reputation has gone flaccid, for it seems you cannot control your soldiers, or perhaps you simply choose not to. Likewise, the Fatebinder is right. We're acting not as leaders, but as children. I've no time for your foolish japes and petty taunts. We should focus on the objective at hand, and that is taking the Mittani River, and then advancing to Ascension Hall and ending this edict. You make it sound like you've been putting even the slightest effort into getting a foothold across the Mittani, when all you've done is set your gangs to uncoordinated raids. You're the Archon of Secrets. Why is it you still don't know the enemy's full strength and capabilities? Maybe you know, and choose not to share. It seemed only yesterday you were proving your worth in battle, assisting my warriors in the siege of the bastard city. Now Kairos has chosen you for a second time to proclaim an edict. Tell us, good Fatebinder, what sort of punishment does the Overlord have in store for the Oathbreakers? For the second time, Brother Tunon selects you for the glory of proclamation. You should be honored. Tell us, what has the Overlord decided to unleash upon the Oathbreakers? My soldiers tell me you helped Commander Drotus on your way through Eddring. You honor the court with your selfless cooperation, for that is the sort of camaraderie that Kairos demands of us all. And I thought you had left agents within these Tearsmen when they surrendered. Either you failed to see this coming, or you knew and let it happen. Incompetent or in cahoots, either way, this mess has your filthy stink all over it. I second the Fatebinder. Thought you had the memories of one of those Oathbreakers rattling about that bronze gourd of yours. Would Kairos' mighty spy master please enlighten this gathering of allies with some scrap of strategic insight? Did I give you permission to speak? If I could trust the information I get from you and your conscripted mouth-breathers, perhaps I'd order my cohorts around a bit more aggressively. But last time I trusted your all-clear report, my troops failed to come home. I ask myself that question often. While we take the river crossing, the Scarlet Chorus should be using their sizable presence to remove the Oathbreaker patrols lurking in the outer valley. Stormcaller, it is an honor to have you with us. I would imagine you are here with another of Kairos' edicts. Perhaps another catastrophe that will punish our foes for hiding behind their walls? Welcome, Firestarter. We have been eagerly anticipating your arrival. Perchance you bring another of Kairos' edicts to savage the enemy? Quakebringer, you humble us with your presence. I must apologize for our rancor and discontent. It is unbecoming of our station. We'll need to advance across the Mittani. We lose everything if we stand still. And we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time. So we do this the hard way. Over the walls instead of through. You've delivered your edict. Do not pretend it gives you the right to give orders to an Archon, though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us. I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us. I am reminded of our last campaign, here in Vendrian's Well, when the Scarlet Chorus insisted we observe an armistice to cater to some backwoods Tearsman festival of carnality. We were lucky you were present to overrule such a foolish notion, so it is good you are here now to squash any further spurious delays. But at least we have allies in the court. My best soldiers have never wanted for a good blade or suit of armor, and I know I have you to thank for it. I fear we will have to call on you for more than just a few works of iron. Now, if you'll leave me be, I have a battle to plan. I imagine duty requires you speak with the chorus further, but if I can convince you to lend a hand, most of my legion is trapped beyond the mountains, so I'm in need of an added sword or two. Queenslayer, I would ask that you join us in battle, if only for the satisfaction of your presence enraging the enemy. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel. You've shown your worth in war, and your name has been known to the Legion since the very beginning of this long conquest. So I'd ask that you join us this one last time, to help us wrap up this last objective. We find ourselves at an impasse. You are no Fatebinder to be shrugged off, dispatched, or underestimated. No, that time is over. You are an Archon. Yes. I thought we would come to this. I had hoped to avoid the confrontation. Your service to my army has been exemplary, and I hate to lose a friend on the eve of victory. I see no fresh blood on your armor, but I sense that something has happened. Where once many congregated, there is now an absence. That can mean only one thing. The voices of Nerat is no more. Can this be true? At last, the Scarlet Chorus are undone. We can properly conduct this war and subjugate the Tears as Kairos intended. That I can see this day, while the voices of Nerat grows cold. You would never forget this indignity. What am I to call you? Fatebinder? Archon? It matters not. You are a mere interruption to greater powers, and you stand in the path of my victory. I will prove myself to Kairos, and the Legion will march home to reclaim our honor. Truer words have never been spoken. He was a monster, and the world will not weep for his passing. Another Archon of Secrets may take his place in time, but for now his ragged throne is vacant. Considering how much you've managed to subdue the disorder of the Tears, finalizing our conquest in Kairos' name should be little more than tidying up pockets of discontent. We could have the entire realm subdued under the laws and customs we hold dear within the next span. In time, yes. No doubt they will have to be as treacherous as he was, though I cannot imagine their power will resemble his. For all his multitudes, the voices of Nerat was a singular being. Nothing like him has ever existed, or likely will again. Yes. I thought we would come to this. I had hoped to avoid the confrontation. Your service to my army has been exemplary, and I hate to lose a friend on the eve of victory. Bow in allegiance to me, and Kairos will be appeased. We can govern this lawless land together, and invite the savages into civilized custom. Precocious upstart! You would draw your weapons on me here, at the seat of my power? I have an army, a family at my disposal. You have nothing but arrogance, and your inflated delusions of power. I have been an authority on Terratas for centuries. You have no hope of besting me here. But I see that you're resolved. If death is what you seek, then I will deliver you to the void. I was afraid this would be your temperament, and it saddens me. Power should have humbled you, but it has made you vain. What do you propose, then? Will we fight to the death needlessly, or will you reconsider my offer? A proposal as insulting as it is laughable. You are an Archon in your infancy, unproven, untested, and unprepared for the trials of leadership. I am not ignorant to the wisdom of your words. They pierce me like a lance through my heart, but there is truth. This conquest has opened old wounds. At times, I have not acted like the leader that my army deserved. Do you think me a fool that I would entertain such outrageousness? You have neither the honor nor the distinction to lead my disfavored legion to glory. I was an accomplished warlord in the earliest days of the Empire. There was no fortress I couldn't breach, no distance I couldn't march. But the years have reduced me. I cared too deeply for my legion to see them suffer. I lost nearly everyone for whom I cared, and suffered for those I sought to protect. I would not wish this for anyone. I submit to your authority as Archon and Master of the Disfavored. Where you lead, I go. Where you command, I follow. After everything I disclosed, you would strike me down? Treacherous fiend! Your depravity knows no bounds, and for that alone, I would see you destroyed. If you will not see the way to reason, then there is but one path available to us. Our alliance is dissolved, and I expel you from my protection. There is only one higher disgrace I can visit upon you. A swift execution. Prepare yourself. Clearly, the rigors of war have made you simple. The people of this realm can barely feed themselves, much less grow their culture in any meaningful way. We are their only salvation. They deserve nothing more than to be brought under our control. There is no point to this line of speculation. The tears will be consumed by the vaulted north, and the dominion of Kairos will be complete. And yet, your claim rings of thoughtfulness. Wisdom has tempered your perspective. This much I recognize. What you propose is incredible, impossible. I am the general of the disfavored legion. I bent the knee once before, humbled myself to Kairos. I cannot do so again. I'm afraid that is impossible. You have grown magnificent in power, and the Overlord demands that we consolidate the authority of the conquest under one rule. Dividing the army only led to mayhem, and the Tears need a single governance if there's to be hope of guiding them from savagery. You speak of powers you barely understand. I would have you flogged and pilloried for making such a claim. But circumstances are far from normal. Before we can even begin to explore this new potential of yours, one final matter needs to be resolved. The voices of Nerat must be executed. With his destruction, his leaderless mob will disperse throughout the tiers from which they came, and we will be free to subjugate this lawless realm. I expect nothing less than your report that the Archon of Secrets has been dealt with. Dismissed. Your silence only incriminates you further. But never mind. We yet have a problem that is degrees of importance over you and your wayward authority. Do not insult me with your flagrant lies. It is known far and wide that you proclaimed an edict. There is no obscuring what you've done. Whatever you are, it will have to wait. We will discuss the matter when you return from your final assignment. Do not make light of what you've done. Between claiming powers beyond your ken and proclaiming an edict, I no longer know what to think of you. Bow in allegiance to me, and Kairos will be appeased. We can govern this lawless land together, and invite the savages into civilized custom. I was afraid this would be your temperament, and it saddens me. Power should have humbled you, but it has made you vain. What do you propose, then? We will fight to the death needlessly? Or will you reconsider my offer? A proposal as insulting as it is laughable. You are an Archon in your infancy, unproven, untested, and unprepared for the trials of leadership. I am not ignorant to the wisdom of your words. They pierce me like a lance through my heart. But there is truth. This conquest has opened old wounds. At times, I have not acted the leader that my army deserved. Do you think me a fool that I would entertain such outrageousness? You have neither the honor nor the distinction to lead my disfavored legion to glory. If you will not see the way to reason, then there is but one path available to us. Our alliance is dissolved, and I expel you from my protection. There is only one higher disgrace I can visit upon you. A swift execution. Prepare yourself! I was an accomplished warlord in the earliest days of the Empire. There was no fortress I couldn't breach, no distance I couldn't march. But the years have reduced me. I cared too deeply for my legion to see them suffer. I lost nearly everyone for whom I cared, and suffered for those I sought to protect. I would not wish this for anyone. I submit to your authority as Archon and Master of the Disfavored. Where you lead, I go. Where you command, I follow. I have been an authority on Terratus for centuries. You have no hope of besting me here. But I see that you're resolved. If death is what you seek, then I will deliver you to the void. I am afraid that is impossible. You have grown magnificent in power, and the Overlord demands that we consolidate the authority of the conquest under one rule. Dividing the army will only lead to mayhem, and the Tears need a single governance if there's to be hope of guiding them from savagery. Clearly, the rigors of war have made you simple. The people of this realm can barely feed themselves, much less grow their culture in any meaningful way. We are their only salvation. They deserve nothing more than to be brought under our control. There is no point to this line of speculation. The Tears will be consumed by the vaulted north, and the dominion of Kairos will be complete. And yet, your claim rings of thoughtfulness. Wisdom has tempered your perspective. This much I recognize. I have been an authority on Terratas for centuries. You have no hope of besting me here. But I see that you're resolved. If death is what you seek, then I will deliver you to the void. What you propose is incredible, impossible. I am the general of the disfavored legion. I bent the knee once before, humbled myself to Kairos. I cannot do so again. So, you see fit to grace my halls with your presence. This will be the last time. I have no wish to consort with traitors. You have held back this campaign against the Tears long enough. Gather, my legion. We will see this pestilence dispatched for the battlement of war. Fatebinder, prepare yourself. If you are set on a course of your own destruction, spare the North your polluted speech. Would that I had killed you back in Vendrian's Well. Had I a moment of foresight, I would not have hesitated to twist your head from your neck. Next wave! Lay down your lives to take down this traitor! Teach this one a lesson. We will not suffer insubordination. This is not a fight you can win. Attack, my soldiers! Don't throw your lives away, my northerners! I will handle this upstart myself! Unreasonable conduct? Sowing discord, disrupting the campaign? Tuh! Had I known that Tunon's High Court was capable of such deception, I would have swatted the adjudicator out of the air. So, you feigned loyalty while secretly plotting my execution with Tunon. I might have expected as much. But I lacked the voices of Nerat's deception. Or yours, for that matter. Suffice to say, this war has taken its toll on me, as have all the battles of centuries past. I have lost more friends and countrymen than any sane general could be expected to endure. I take each death personally, you understand. Down to the rank and file of my stone shields, the harm inflicted upon my northern sons and daughters. At times it seems visited upon me as well. But never mind an old man's ruminations. You have a report to make, and I am anxious to hear it. I dare say I'm well enough to hear good news. Delivering some would raise my spirits considerably. I await your word, Fatebinder. Well enough, damn you! Oh. Forgive me, Fatebinder. Unity and culture they will have in abundance, once we are finished breaking the last of their strength. If you think you know this better than Kairos, you are mistaken. The very notion strikes me as preposterous, and yet one of my own has accepted it. I cannot begin to imagine how it could be possible that our campaign was at fault. Could the Overlord have misled us? Could we have failed to recognize some great flaw? You will be silent, insolent one. Archons are speaking, and I would hear no more from that putrid iron suit you wear. Do not force me into mediating your squabble. The protests of your companions are nothing to me. As far as I'm concerned, they are all as corrupted as you. I knew you as Tunon's pupil, but now you are an Archon, and so much more. I would see you continue in your service to Kairos, but as my ally rather than my enemy. Time will tell if I am willing to tolerate your presence in this realm. Time, and a final deed to prove your fealty. After I grind your bones into the dry earth, my disfavored will take back this realm for the vaunted North, and you will be forgotten. Gather, my legion! We will see this pestilence dispatched for the battlement of war! Fatebinder, prepare yourself!